Welcome. So, talk about don't give up. That's exactly what just happened. Here I am with the link for you to come on, and I am hoping that you see this here. I've been trying probably for I don't know how long to get the author chat link up, but um, yeah, it didn't work. So, I came over here hoping that you will find this author chat and just come on over here. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. So, first of all, let me say welcome. It's amazing, right? I'm going to talk to you about not giving up. And here I am going back and forth with the stream, trying to get this set up for you. And instead of just saying, forget about it, because we don't do that, I just said, let me come on over here. So, for those of you who maybe see this later, I hope you find it now. Um, I'm going to give you some time to actually get on as I continue to try to see if I can get this to work on my computer. But yeah, I'm going to talk to you about my book, Don't Give Up. But more than that, I'm here to encourage you, to motivate you. I've been blessed with the gift of encouragement and motivation, and I'm pretty excited about that. And so let's see what's going on. Yeah, I know I have my assistant here saying, hey, it looks like it's waiting to come up. She's on the other page. So I think what I want her to do, let me see something. Give me one moment. We're going to figure this out. Just figure it out with me. Let's see. Okay. What I'm going to see if she can do is just add a message in the chat. Let's see. Pardon my face as I type. Hold on a minute. Okay. I am probably going to delete this, but you know what? Um, this is life. Okay. So let's see if she comes over on this side and then I'll know what's going on. Okay. This is life. And, a lot of times I used to be a perfectionist and I would start, if the slightest thing didn't go the way that I wanted it to, I would just, But now, thank goodness I've learned, don't do that. You still have to have some level of poise, especially if you are in a leadership position, because you don't want your team to kind of lose it, right? As a parent, um, as a spouse, as all of these different things, you can't lose it, because if you do, then other people will lose it as well, and you don't want that. So let me continue to wait. I don't see anyone on here yet. If you are here already, I would definitely invite you to say hello in the comment section and we can take it from there. I'll continue to wait here for a little while to see if anyone comes up as I try to correct this at this moment. Okay. All right. That's probably my assistant right there. My executive assistant is probably her. Um, yeah, such. I guess it wasn't as easy as I thought to come on here on this to do the streaming, but I'm here. if you can go ahead and let's see if I can see your comments. That would be amazing. If you can put a comment in the chat. Okay. All right. And as a matter of fact, let me just go on my computer at the same time so that I can see your, let's see here. We're going to figure this out. That's what I have to say. I do apologize. This was not the intent. I was going to come on here and encourage and motivate everyone. And, maybe you were enjoying your lunch and then we were going to finish up there. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what's going over here on this page right now. This is very interesting. So I'm here on the other page and I don't see a thing. However, I know that you can see me because I see one person on. I'm just not sure who it is. So thanks for joining this very interesting moment. Very interesting. So it's not showing up on my computer. Very interesting. Yet I know I'm live. Okay. So I'll keep waiting just for a little bit. It's about 1:11 right now. And then what I'll probably have to do is go on LinkedIn, go on, where else did I put this up at? On Facebook, and just say that did not go as planned. And I'll just read from the book over there because I don't want to waste a good chapter on an imperfect moment. Let's see. Yeah, I probably, okay, so I can see, yeah. So it's not coming up. I see that I am live, but it's on a completely different live stream. Yeah, this is something that I definitely want to try to tackle another time. But I am live. So to the one person who is here and to the other people who are on the other page, you'll see it. This was not the way it was supposed to go. I was so looking forward to coming on and sharing with you. So I'll probably hang out over here until about 1:30. Hello. To the person who just came on and to the two people who are here who probably said, let me go over to the other one. Is it live on your YouTube? I have someone else who's waiting. Hold on, we're going to find a way. I'm going to have to make this up to you. It just didn't work. Okay. Yeah, let me just tell my friend it's not working. I'm so... Okay. So I'm letting her know. I asked my assistant to please put a note in there. Thank you. Unbelievable. I was so ready since yesterday to go ahead and get this done. I know someone came on, but anyway. I know she said technology can be so exactly. But anyway, listen, I don't want to waste this moment over here. I am going to talk to you and then I'll go over to LinkedIn and I'll go read from the book over there. We're not going to waste a good book on an imperfect moment. I want you to remember that in your life. Don't waste, don't waste. I like to say don't waste the oil, but don't waste the opportunity to forge ahead, to be resilient, to continue to be determined, even in the imperfect moments. My thing was, let me just go ahead and come on over here, and I'm going to do that. So, first of all, if it's your first time and you're like, hey, I see her over on LinkedIn, who is this lady? So, my name is Yedida, it's Faith Yedida Span, and I am the author of this best selling book that's called Don't Give Up. And I started to think about it, and I wanted to like share with you, like, what are people thinking about when I share on social media about this book? Um, Hold on just a moment. Yes, I put the new link. Hold on, Khalil, I see you. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're going to end up, just like she said, we're going to end up doing a replay for those of you who missed it. I apologize. This was not supposed to have happened because I love, love, love to do author chats to encourage people to read from my book. I am thankful that when I decided to write this book in 2018, I was strongly encouraged to write this book about snippets of my life, but also more than that, about moments to share hope and inspiration. And I am thankful that men and women alike have both read the book and they really, really enjoyed it and all of that good stuff, because I don't believe that your story should be wasted. And I know that there are times that we don't always want to share our story. I was just speaking with a woman on yesterday. I like to do check ins. So I check in with people. I am also a pastoral care spiritual advisor. And I was just doing a check in. And, you know, you have to have a space where you can open up, where you can be vulnerable, where you can really share what's really going on in your life. And I know that as we come on social media, a lot of times as leaders, as business owners, as influencers, what have you, we show up and it's like, I have to show up this way. Now, regardless, if you stubbed your toe, the cat, tried to jump on you and do a bungee jump off of the bed onto you or anything like that. That used to happen with my cat, Lily. I don't even want to talk about that cat. But these things happen. And then you come on and you're like, okay, I need to get on. I need to show my best self. But what I'm also starting to discover for me, and this is not for everyone, I notice that when I share those moments, those imperfect moments, and I'm going to read to you from chapter 4, which is Butterfly Wings. Just like today, this was an imperfect moment. I'm sitting here since I don't know what time trying to figure out what's going on with this live stream. And it didn't work on that particular link. And so I came over here to say, okay, it's imperfect. But I wonder, how much grace do we give ourselves? How much grace are you going to give me when I shared this video with you that it didn't work out the way that I expected? Does it mean that we say, okay, well, forget about that person. I can't do this with them. Or do we realize, as my friend said, and she's really good with technology, she sent me a text and said, technology can be so frustrating sometimes. Do we give ourselves grace? And I keep saying this, in the imperfect moments. I'm giving myself grace. I already did. Now, once again, back in the day when I was a perfectionist, I worked at North General Hospital in the Department of Pastoral Care, and I was there. We were doing rounds with doctors on patients, and I was there charting and being with families in the DNR, and being there with them in these moments that were difficult, challenging, that were stretching them, I'm sure, as they had to decide to do things that they probably never ever thought they were going to have to do. What are you going to decide to do with your loved one in this moment of life? And so I would be there with them, and I loved it. That was like one of my favorite careers, one of my favorite jobs. I just loved it so much. But I remember there were times when I would be working on the budget and things just weren't, and I'm like, why is this not You ever work on a budget? Why is this not adding up? And da, 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 you know, and just becoming or feeling upset about it. And we have those moments in our lives where we do become upset because things are happening that are beyond our control. And it's almost like I like to say to my daughter, you know, when we're doing schoolwork or she's doing her schoolwork, and I said it to this little boy the other day, and I said, you do your best because your best is always good enough. It is not someone else's best. And I know that in this life, because of social media, we're usually on screens. And back in the day, you would close your door, maybe you'd watch television, you'd watch a show. But now it's almost like you're looking at other people's lives. I like to say OPLs, other people's lives. And it's almost like, why am I not like this? Now, it's one thing to kind of look at somebody and say, you know, I want to do better. I'm feeling like I can try to do better because I'm looking at their life or how they do business or how they're a professional. And it's really causing me to kind of want to do things in a better way, not to be like that person. So it's learning how to be able to separate and not fall apart or beat ourselves up or call ourselves names. You know, as a coach, one of the things that I talk to people about is having self-depreciating behavior and loathing ourselves because things are not the way that we want it to be. And we have to learn when we talk about emotional intelligence, right? Um, Learning to bring our emotions under subjection, because sometimes our emotions, when things just don't go the way that we want, can just, anger can try to come in, right? Rage, anger, um, deep sorrow, disappointment. Oh, you know some of the names, just throw them out there. What happens when things don't go the way that you want them to? Is it fear that tries to creep into your heart? Is it this feeling of your self-esteem, you know, starts to dwindle down? Why did this have to happen to me? Why can't I be all of these things? And I'm saying every day, as long as we are alive, is another moment for us to try again and to try again and to look at what didn't work and to make other, I want to say, different types of connections where maybe the people who are in your unit, you know, they may not have the answers, and they're there. They're good. They're special. But when it comes to other things that you need as you're trying to move up and forward in life, you may need a completely different community or network. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like to tell my clients, listen, always have a list of people when you are in that challenging moment, because sometimes when we are challenged, we just don't think right away like, okay, I can call this person. Sometimes all of those thoughts and all the things that we have to do are just right there in front of us, and we don't know to look around or to pick up the phone. We are sometimes in that fight or flight mode where we're like, oh my gosh, I have to get this done. I have to do this. I don't know what to do, but we don't reach out. And so I tell clients, I say, make a list of people, and everyone is not going to be there for the same thing. Now, you might have a friend who is humorous, because sometimes you need to laugh. Laughter is like medicine. You might have another friend who's a good listener. You need that listening ear. Another friend who is a strategist. So you write all of this down on a piece of paper so that when that moment happens, when you don't know what to do, instead of trying to figure out everything by yourself, you give yourself permission to say that although I may be the strong one, I need help too. The strong one doesn't always have to feel like they have to have every answer and everything together. That's weighty. That's putting a whole lot on top of yourself. I don't want you to do that. I want you to look at a list of people who you can call and give yourself some grace. Give yourself an opportunity to say, this may not be going the way that I want it to right now, but the one thing that I will not do is give up, and I will not quit. I will try again and again and again. I love it when people talk about failure. In my book, there's a quote that I love, and it says that failing does not make us failures, and losing does not make us losers. These are titles that were never meant for us to own. Growth happens in the midst of failure. Can you believe that? Did I just say that? It's true. Growth happens in the midst of trying to figure out what the next thing is. Growth happens because it's going to push us oftentimes out of our comfort zone and say, I tried this for years, but in this situation, this is not going to work. I need to do something else. Growth happens in the midst of being able to be honest with ourselves and saying, I need help. I keep saying that. Growth happens in the midst of being saying, yes, I am very astute in this area. Yes, I magna cum laude, whatever it is, right? I have a 4.2 GPA, but there are times in my life when Yadida has to admit, even though she doesn't want to reluctantly, I don't have the answer. And that's okay. As a person of faith, one thing that I learned was that God never ever intended me to have all the answers, figure everything out by myself. He never meant for me to do that. And so I had to learn to break out of that, because sometimes we are taught you have to be that strong woman. And there's nothing wrong with being strong, but I've learned that it's in my weakness that strength is magnified, because I get to say that I don't know what to do sometimes. And that, do you understand? It's okay. That's why we have books. That's why we have people who are doing courses. That's why we have mentors. That's why we have coaches. That's why we have family. And I want to give you, this is what I want you to do. Because when I became a parent, I just thought it's just going to be, I'm a mom. I got this. But there's not a book that they hand you after you have your baby, and say, here you go, read this book. You start learning as that child grows and adapts and goes through growth and development, that you also are growing as that parent. It is not perfect. That even as a boss, when I became an entrepreneur, oh my gosh, I'm a creative. See, I got it. But I love to create. And I love being in the administrative managerial role. I was in a nonprofit, but this is different. You have to learn how to do things different. You have to learn how to do that budget, or else you find someone to help you out. How often do you find people to help you? How often do you take a moment? I love to say a moment for the moms out there. When you start feeling, because anxiety is real. And when anxiety comes, when we are trying to put too much on ourselves and we don't see the answer. So anxiety comes because we're like, well, but I have to figure it out. I have to know what to do. And sometimes the heart starts to beat fast and you just really want to scream. But you know that if you do, somebody might call the cops on you. So you opt out and say, I'm not going to do that. Well, I want to give you something to do that has been very helpful for me. When you start to feel anxious, because the Bible talks about that, I want you, because we're adults, most of us who will watch this, sometimes you have to become like a child. I love to say I go to my Heavenly Father, I go to God, and I stop. Because sometimes people try to work through the anxiety. I feel this, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pressing through it. I'm going to keep. But your body is screaming and yelling and saying, wait a minute. Don't ignore that when that happens. I like to say this: push your computer back a moment, push it back. Even if you have to get up and say, I'll be right back, and go to the bathroom, or go and say, okay, this is real. This is real. And the first thing that I want you to do is to slow down your breathing. Because when life is hitting us so hard and we feel like we're challenged and this happened, that happened, and the moment that I felt like I got that finished, something else came up. It's like it's a lot, and the body is not used to handling so much stress. So you have to find ways to deal with it that are going to be healthy and helpful for you. You don't always have to feel like I'm just going to push past this and through this. Sometimes you just have to stop and take a pause. And in that pause, you're going to stop. You're going to push your computer back if you're on it. You're going to give yourself permission to say, I need to check in with what's happening with me right now. And I want you to just close your eyes. And I'm not going to have you do anything new agey. I just want you to just stop. Look at how fast, is my heart beating really fast right now? Okay, let me calm down. Slow your breathing down. Take a deep breath. Slow it down, okay? This is what you have to do. When you feel like you're at home, and like I said, the cat is trying to bungee jump off of you. You thought you were going to get past them, and all of a sudden they just took the leap and took those nails. My cat used to do this. I don't know why I kept her so long, because I really know I like her a whole lot. So, but you stop and you love yourself enough, because I know that if it was someone else, that many of you would just go and say, no, I got you. Come on. I'm here. I'm going to be here for you. Just stop a moment. You need to relax, right? But we will tell other people to do that. But what about us? What about you? So you slow your breathing down. And you take that deep breath. And I like to do this myself. I like to say, see myself as a child. Okay, great. I don't have to be an adult. I know I'm a mom, but right now I need my daddy. I need God. Daddy, I need you. And I just become like a child. And I slow it down. And I think about the scripture that says, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I see myself as this little girl in the shadow of God, just underneath his covering. Have you ever done that before? I want you to try it. The next time that things start to be a bit interesting, I want you to see yourself as that child, but not alone, not by yourself, not having to figure everything out and make all the decisions and, feed the dog and, get the bird to get back in the cage and cook the dinner and all, just everything that we do as adults and at the business. And I have to make the numbers and all of these things and just say, I am going to stop because I need a moment. But not a moment to freak out and lose it. That's what we don't want to do. We want to stop that. But a moment to say, I deserve this moment to stop, to pause, to breathe, to stop thinking about so many things at one time. I'm going to take this moment for me because I love me too. When's the last time that you said, I love me? I know you love people. I know you're there for them. I know it. But when was the last time that you stopped and say, I love me? Now I'm talking to men and women alike, because I know men, I know sometimes, we go for emotion, but we're emotional beings as well. And sometimes because we're not allowing ourselves to feel and we're just trying to work, cover it up, that we're not allowing ourselves to be human. There's enough AI out there. Let's not go there. We get to be human. But not just to be human, but to say, I'm valuable even in the imperfect moments. That's what I want you to do. So I quote that scripture. My breathing is slowed down. I'm dwelling in his secret place, and I'm being mindful of and if I'm like this, and I'm mindful of how I feel, and I'm just like, nope. God, you're my daddy. You love me. I don't have to do this alone. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I'm going to be okay. I was putting too much on myself. Like, be mindful of the things that you do. I was trying to make myself do a bit too much today. Okay. All right. Grab yourself a bottle of water. Not being new age, you just might be thirsty and don't know it. Stand up if you need to and move a little bit. Shake yourself off a little bit. Just move. Shake it off. So walk in place. Move a little bit. Okay? That's what I want you to try. So If you came in at the beginning and you saw me trying to get this thing to work, as you noticed, there was another link. I had 15 people who were registered to actually come on here, and I could not get on the link that was provided. So I decided to come on over here because we don't quit. We don't quit. We don't stop. So that's what I'm going to share with you. Don't quit. I'm going to read to you really quickly from the book. And I never want you to quit in the imperfect moments. It happens. Life happens. Life happens. So, chapter 4 is a favorite of many. It's called Butterfly Wings. I love it too. And I'm just going to read briefly before I get ready to close. We're talking about this caterpillar. It's like I have this conversation with this caterpillar, and it's an interview, and this caterpillar is telling me about its story and how people tried to step on it and they called it names. It's yucky. A caterpillar is, it's gross. We don't like it. But the caterpillar would never be. The butterfly wouldn't be if there was no caterpillar, the caterpillar without the butterfly. So sometimes we have those moments where life just seems plain old yucky, but that doesn't mean that we quit. That means that we persevere and we keep going. So it says this: I persevered and I perceived the space I had resorted to and accepted as my continued dwelling place was no longer sufficient for what I had become. I felt as though I would suffocate if I did not try to get out of it. This is the chrysalis. This dark and lonely space, which once consoled my aching and discomfort while protecting me from the elements, could no longer confine me. Yes, I was changed by the process. I felt a part of me I had never, ever known before, and I pushed this unknown contraption outside of my comfort zone. Phew, that was hard work. What is this? I thought. Now, this is the caterpillar. It's become a butterfly, but it doesn't know it. My frame was no longer the same. I was larger than when I first went in. I felt this thing I had never felt before, and I kept feeling the need to stretch. Then I felt another one on the other side. What in the world is happening to me? I then heard the familiar voice of my maker calling me out of the darkness into a majestic light, and I was excited to oblige. Don't be afraid. Push. I heard him say, glory to God. I push, realizing my life depends on it, because if I don't push, it seems like I'm not going to make it out of this thing. I am completely out of my encasement. And then, as I move in a way I have never before, I look into a nearby pond, and reflected in the water is the most beautiful, brightly colored creature I have ever seen. Then I realize it's me. As the rays of the sun irradiated my entire being, fluttering and swirling, dancing and twirling, I celebrate. I have been positively changed by the process. Yes, my maker changed me. This has to be what they refer to as beauty for ashes. Isaiah 60:3. And I'm going to stop there. The reason why we cannot quit is because, just like that caterpillar, we don't know what our next is going to be. We don't know how we're going to be changed by the process. So we must keep going. My message to you today, as I get ready to close, is no matter what happens in your life, and maybe today you feel like the butterfly, things are going well, and you're just like, it's good, it's good. Or maybe you feel like the caterpillar. Or maybe you decided to wrap yourself inside of the chrysalis to hide from the world. Don't go it alone. And most of all, don't give up. That's what I'm going to share with you today. Don't give up. This is Yadida. I am the author of Don't Give Up, Acknowledging the Struggle, Celebrating Resilience. And I'll be doing more of these, but just go ahead and subscribe because next time I'm just going to forget about the other link. I'll just do it straight on the page. So thanks for tuning in. And whatever you do, don't give up. Go all the way. I'll talk to you soon.